Very rarely do we see where a enlisted member has a little bit of power, and sometimes that leverage can even be exemplified even further as it is posted across social media, as this seems to be the new leveling of the playing field of the public opinion versus the traditional court, because I think there are two versions of that, and I do believe that we're going to see this play out very interestingly over the next month as we're getting promised future details of how this enlisted female sailor is going to try and destroy this naval officer.
You're so mature now that I think it's time you grow up. And if you didn't, we all know you didn't learn yet. You still look like me.
And that message was very coded and very basic to have out there, especially in uniform. And people are like, what are you talking about? But we don't have to guess anymore, and that's because it looks like she has made a TikTok clarifying what she was talking about in her personal experiences while she was deployed over in Afghanistan.
It's not like my video has gone like completely viral or anything, but 10,000 views right now. That's kind of a lot more than I was expecting. To give you guys more explanation without being berated in the comments about something extremely traumatic to me. I didn't wish to report it because at the time I was literally in a fucking combat zone. I'm a corpsman. I'm gonna be getting out in a month. I've been in for 7 years. We were dealing with the worst casualties, the worst trauma you can ever imagine. I'm not even going to get into it because I think TikTok would just take it down. Afghanistan, during that time was super active and just so horrible right before the withdrawal from Afghanistan. So I was dealing with a lot of trauma before that, because I don't even like, it's just that it was so bad. So there was just too much going on in my head to even deal with that. And then other questions in the comments were, oh, well, didn't he have a standby? I'm a Navy corpsman. I actually love gynecology. That's what I'm going to go to school for when I'm out in a month. I love gynecology. It's so interesting to me. It's amazing. I love making women feel comfortable. I am very fucking trained in pap smears, IUD removals, colposcopies, everything. And I fucking knew that was not appropriate. So anyone trying to discredit me, go fuck yourself. And yeah, anyone telling me to report it right now, I've been in the Navy for 7 years. I'm not gonna put myself through that fucking mental torture. It's not because I'm weak. It's not because I'm scared. It's just because the system ain't right yet, babe. It's not. So I will get out and get a big girl lawyer and go after him that way.
I want to take one small note from this video as I observed it. You see the moment where she kind of stares off as she talks about the trauma, and it's almost like you can read on her face that like she's replaying those memories.
Afghanistan, during that time was super active and just so horrible right before the withdrawal from Afghanistan. So I was dealing with a lot of trauma before that, because I don't even like, it's just that it was so bad.
You know, that was unfiltered, and you can just see the body language there when that gets played out. But on top of that, it does look like she doesn't specifically say what happened, other than you can kind of insinuate that you know what happens because she references many medical exams and procedures that do include that region of the body, and saying that she's been trained or has had experiences with conducting those. I can tell you, even myself, doing that in my military career, I I've had to do those and be a part of those. Now, when I look at this, there has to be a couple questions that we address. This happened in Afghanistan. Will the civilian authorities and her lawyer and people like that actually be able to obtain information to be used in civilian courts to press charges against this military doctor? I'm assuming that's still active duty. This could be a double whammy, maybe even triple whammy for this guy. As you can see, he could be put in through a judicial process under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. If you go through civilian court, on top of that, he could lose his licensure as far as being a medical provider in general, which I'm like, if you really want to come after this guy and hold accountability, this is kind of the most right way to do it. And as much as that sucks to say, because we've seen the criticism over the years of this being an issue, you need data, you need information into the system to change the system. I understand not everyone wants to share their story. I get it. It's personal. I'm not saying it isn't. I don't know how else leadership is going to make this better if they don't hear your story either. And, as somebody that is in the military and does work with people, I want everyone to feel like they're safe, whether they are in garrison or deployed in a combat zone. Thoughts about this happening during a deployment. There are a lot of factors you have to consider. One of those major ones is she was already dealing with trauma. And I'll say that she likely wasn't even focused on herself at that point. But I will also go on to say that there's only so many people that are deployed on the ground at one point. So when you look at this, it's like, yes, you could report this, but that also would take out, her expertise and knowledge and being able to handle this patient load with not being there and pretty much taking care of herself, which is a very tough thing to swallow when you're seeing trauma where people of very many ages and genders and all that kind of stuff are being literally burned, etc. I've heard some crazy stories. Not casting doubt, but I do want to be transparent that this does only show one side of the story. I'm assuming we might see some more legitimate story or information come out from the other side, maybe as this person does get more attention in regards to this next month when she gets her DD-214. But also, what do you think about this situation as we've seen criticism by this individual along with many others over, I'd say, the past easy 7 to 8 years, criticize the military system for how they handle these cases. But as always, if you guys do like what we do on this channel, you can always support over at patreon.com for special perks and benefits. On top of that, you can also support over at YouTube on the join button below this video for special perks and benefits here on YouTube. As always, if you guys have questions about this or anything else, you can always hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, or down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.